Hi, my name is Vivian Lovecchio, and I'm going to be discussing why our fish are dying in the ocean. So what is killing our fish? Brevetoxin, aka red tide, is the main cause of why our fish are dying. As you can see below, this is an example of what a red tide may look like. As you can see from the picture, it is humongous. So this can be from very wide amounts of water that it takes up, or it could be small amounts. It just depends on what's fueling it, which we will discuss later in this presentation. Here's some different looks to it. As you can see, yes, there's a pretty glowing picture to it. Some red tides can glow like that, but even though it may be pretty to us, it is actually really toxic to us and other sea creatures as well. And the other pictures, as you can see, it has this really reddish, rustic color to it. I don't recommend swimming in it because of how toxic it is. So which beaches or areas that are being affected by brevetoxin? St. Petersburg, Punta Gorda Beach, Stump Pass, Little Gasparilla Island, Boca Grande, Blind Pass, Santa Barbara, San Diego, Cook Inlet, Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of Maine, San Francisco, Klamath River, Siskiyou County, Oakland Estuary are just a few places that are being affected. There are so many more that I could have listed that are all over the world, and that would have just taken up so many slides, but this is just to give you an idea of basically what's happening near the U.S. As you can see in the picture, Florida gets hit a lot by the red tides. This is why they have signs posted for when red tide is present. You do not want to be near the water when red tide is present. So what is brevetoxin? Brevetoxin is a type of algae that is made up of polycyclic polyethers. It is abbreviated PBTX from the original name, I may butcher this, Tychodiscus brevis. The formula for brevetoxin is carbon 50, hydrogen 70, and oxygen 14. They are referred sometimes as toxic blooms. There are two structures, type A and type B. Differences can be found in the J ring in PBTXA and the K ring in PBTXB. So a basic look of what this molecule looks like is this. So this is what a chain would look like if we were to write it out. Down below is if we were to make a 3D model of brevetoxin. So what exactly fuels brevetoxin? Industrial pollution, human sewage, agricultural fertilizer, weather, high concentration in phosphorus nitrogen, wastewater treatments, and Heterosigma akashiwu, which is what that picture is over there. It is a little organism of some type that fuels red tide. So how brevetoxin is getting into fish's systems? Brevetoxin does not affect shellfish as far as studies have shown. So consumption made by fish and other sea creatures can lead to what scientists call it as a shellfish poisoning, which is what humans can get as well. The toxins and red tide surround where the fish and other creatures can go up and get air. So they breathe it in as well as they're consuming it. Huge concentrations of brevetoxin are found in the fish's liver and stomach when scientists did studies on the dead fish that washed up on shore. Dr. Rosenfield said that even the hardiest of fish, like the sturgeon, an ancient creature, are dying. He said bat rays, striped bass, yellowfin gobies, and even sharks are washing ashore dead. So this is what it looks like when a bunch of fish and other sea creatures are affected by brevetoxin and they're washed up on shore. They might not be washed up on shore right away. Some sea creatures that live towards the bottom and are affected by this could take days or weeks or some however long it may take for the tide to bring them in to wash up on shore. But as you can see, it's not small numbers from the fish side. You can see that there's a shark and other stuff, and it's just a really nasty smell from we can tell from this man down in the bottom. It is not a pleasant smell with all this dead fish. So the impact Brevetoxin has on fish as well as us. Toxicity results from inhalational, dermal, and oral. The most common form is oral from consumption. Oral ingestion is gastrointestinal and neurologic. It can cause illness in aquatic wildlife, which includes death. Symptoms can start from just a few minutes or up to 18 hours after consumption. So some symptoms that we may experience from the gastrointestinal side is abdominal pain, vomiting, and diarrhea. Neurologic is paresthesias, which is numbness and tingling of lips, mouth, face, and extremities. Continuing, vertigo, headache, ataxia, which is a loss of body movement, reversal of hot and cold sensation, slurred speech, and fatigue. I'm sorry about the typo. I'll fix that. Inhalational, cough, dyspnea. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, which means it's basically difficult to breathe, and bronchospasm, which means your airways tighten up. Is there a way to eliminate Brevetoxin from already contaminated food? No, there is not a way. Once contaminated, it cannot be removed, even when you rinse it, cook it, freeze it, clean it, the affected creature. There is no way to tell if shellfish has been affected because it lacks a smell and taste. No specific treatment has been found for this poisoning. Metabolic process that is interrupted by brevetoxins. The nerve membrane system is the main target for brevetoxin to shut down inside of one's body. A group of 10 or more lipid-soluble neurotoxins activate the sodium ion channel, which causes the nerve membrane to depolarization. So basically, depolarization is changing the electric charge distribution, which leaves cells to have a less negative charge to them. It causes less energy to be stored, and cells lose resources to function, which causes other places in the body to stop functioning. Ways we can lessen brevetoxin. If there was a way we could change the weather by getting it to cool down, that would help slow down the amount of red tides that are being produced. So far, there isn't a way to cool down the earth. It is really warm right now. But if there was a way, this would absolutely help pretty much a little bit. Scientists aren't 100% sure if the weather is 100% effective. So far, when they disappear right now, it's because they've used up their nutrient supply, and when the days become shorter, which basically just means when there's less sunlight. So it's not getting that sunlight to feed off of, so they're dying out with less sunlight. But for us, what we can actually do is if we start to improve our water treatment plants to filter water better, we could slow down or potentially eliminate red tides. We just have to fix the filtration that is happening with our water treatments. Thank you for listening about my brevetoxins.